Love, can you see if you can see me? Ooh. Is it working? I think the lag is lower. But I lost my chat. Oh, sweet. Hi. Figuring it out. Should I do a practice round? Should we tell a story together? What should it be about? What do we think? Here, actually, let me say hello first. And let's see what Jane has to say. Maybe she'll give us some good ideas for what our first thing should be. Dang, I keep losing the chat. Recently, I've just felt like such an old person. I'm like constantly grasping around on my phone, like trying to find the right application, like trying to figure out stuff. Okay. I'll do a dramatic reading. Welcome, my dearest friends. I am so utterly delighted you could join me. You may call me Jane, and it will be my distinct pleasure to be your storyteller this season. Do I sound okay? Is like the mic okay? We are about to step into a world of silk gowns and whispered secrets, of grand balls and quiet, meaningful glances across a crowded drawing room. Our story is set in England's Regency, a time of great change, stringent social rules, and the enduring belief that a single lady in possession of a good fortune, or even one without, must be in want of a husband, or perhaps in want of something else entirely. We shall explore a world inspired by the novels of my namesake, filled with love, ambition, scandal, and the intricate dance of society. But a story is nothing without its heroine. Before we are properly introduced to our setting, I must be introduced to you. How's the angle also? Let me know. Like maybe more to the side? Or maybe my light could be brighter? I don't know. Okay. First, pray tell, how many of you will be joining us? Okay, there's just one. And for each of you, I should be so grateful if you would share the two things that make a heroine truly compelling. First, what is her main goal? Is this the singular ambition that occupies her thoughts? Be it securing a prosperous marriage, salvaging her family's reputation, or perhaps achieving a measure of independence unheard of for a woman of her time? Second, what is her main tension or secret? This is the private worry that plagues her, the skeleton in her armoire, the deeply held conviction that runs contrary to her goal, a secret debt, a past indiscretion, a forbidden love, or a duty that chains her to a life she does not desire. This is the heart of her inner conflict. Okay, then it's just some other instructions. Okay, who should this chick be? Who should we be? What do you think? What do you think her deal is? Okay, camera's fine. Thank you. There's a background buzz. Is it really bad? I can kind of see it. I could maybe just turn the volume down. Does that help? No? Okay. Is it better with the volume up? I think it might actually just be my computer fan because my computer is like working overtime. We'll see. Volume up is better? Okay. Okay, I'll do the volume back up then. Maybe I'll get closer to the mic. I don't know. I feel like I'm looking down a lot. And I feel like streamers look like at their camera. But that's hard because I'm like reading so much stuff. Okay. Okay, what should our deal be? What do we think? main desire. Well, a lot of women in the Regency era, their main desire is to get married. So that's like the default, but we could do something that's more fun than that. Like, maybe she's, like really poor and she's trying to marry up to get rich or something. Or maybe her family, like, is in debt, or they have some secrets that she's trying to cover up with like a nice marriage. Maybe she doesn't want to get married and that's like her main secret or tension, but then her family's kind of pressing it on her. I could just do the first one that I ever did and see what it's like to replay that storyline and see if something different happens there, I guess. Would that be interesting? We could try it out. My first character's name was really embarrassing because it was before I even like cared to make them even Austinian at all, Regency at all, and I just like made up a name that I really like, so I won't use her name. But let's say, what one that I thought of the other day, which I think is going well, Augusta Knightly. I don't even know if Knightly is actually a Regency name, but it makes me think of Keira Knightley. And there's that connection. So I am Augusta Knightly, or we are Augusta Knightly. Let's see. A young debutante newly entering London society. My main purpose: to find a husband with a good reputation and a family name I can use to solidify my standing. I can spell. My main tension: while my parents left me a great sum of money and a continued source of it, that source is not a landed estate, or is not, that source is a reason for shame. Let's see. That source is a reason for shame, or at least embarrassment. So I want to find someone with a name to cover up the source of my money, and I guess we'll see what the source of that money is. I don't want to reveal what happened the first time I did this because the source of the money ended up with an interesting dynamic, so I wonder what it's going to be like this time. We'll see. Usually when I replay similar plot lines a second time, it ends up like pretty different, which is cool. It means there's replayability. Is this awkward, like without music? I originally wanted music in the background, but I couldn't figure it out in time. Let me know. Okay, we'll read through it. Miss Augusta Knightly, what a perfectly splendid name, one that carries a certain weight and elegance. I am utterly charmed to make your acquaintance. It seems our story shall have but one heroine at its center, which is all the better. It allows us to attend to your journey with the singular focus it deserves. A debutante with a goal of social fortification and a secret of embarrassing wealth. Why, the very notion sets my storyteller's heart aflutter. The tension between the polished facade you must present and the unvarnished truth of your fortune is a magnificent starting point for any grand drama. It is a truth universally acknowledged that in London, the only thing more scandalous than having no money is having new money. Let us then set our stage. The year is 1813. The London season is in full glorious bloom. I feel like this needs music, right? I feel like this needs music. The Napoleonic Wars rage on the continent, but here the only battles are for status, fought in ballrooms and won with a well-placed whisper or strategic marriage. You, Miss Augusta Knightly, have just arrived from the countryside, an orphan of considerable but mysteriously sourced fortune. You've taken a fine fashionable house in Mayfair, under the chaperonage of your late mother's sister, the kindly but nervous Mrs. Ainsworth, a widow whose own connections are respectable, but not quite influential enough to launch you on their own. Your great sum of money, as you know, comes from your late father's patents and factories in Manchester. Oh, he was a genius of industry, the inventor of the Knightly power loom, a device that is revolutionizing the textile trade and turning out immense profits. But to the high society of the Ton, this is not the genteel wealth of the inherited land. It is a grimy, clanking, and distinctly unfashionable business of trade. That's interesting because it's called the Knightly power loom, and my last name is Knightly, so I don't know how I'm gonna get away with, like, people not knowing what's up. Maybe I'll just gaslight my way through it. Like, what? That's not what that's called. That's not me. Your fortune smells not of country estates, but of coal smoke and machinery. This is your secret to guard, or at the very least, to elegantly obscure. To aid in navigating this treacherous landscape, you should be aware of a few notable figures you are likely to encounter. Mr. Alistair Finch, a tall, serious gentleman of about 28, the younger son of a viscount. He is considered a most eligible bachelor, not for his fortune, which is modest, but for his impeccable connections and his unassailable reputation for propriety and high moral character. You know, I think a younger son is actually going to be a good bet in this case because, like, an eldest son who's part of a landed estate, like, someone who's going to inherit the land that his parents have, like, he's probably being a bit more cautious about who he lets into his circles. But a younger son, like someone who's not going to inherit anything, it's like his name is kind of up for grabs, you know. And if I have enough money, maybe it's worth it. But high moral character, that might mean that he's snobby and he doesn't like machines or whatever we do. Gossip suggests that he is principled to a fault and holds a particular disdain for the grasping ambitions of the nouveau riche, which means that he probably won't like me. Damn. The most influential Lady Beatrice Vance, the most influential of the patronesses of Almec's assembly rooms, the pinnacle of London society, a handsome woman in her 50s. She is never seen without her, I've never known how to pronounce this, lorgnette. Lorgnette. I'm gonna look that up. Which she uses to inspect newcomers as if they were insects. Her word can make or break a debutante's season. It is said she values lineage above all else and can smell trade from 100 paces. Mr. Silas Croft, a fashionable and witty dandy who seems to be everywhere and know everyone. He's charming, impeccably dressed, and possesses a dangerously sharp tongue. Rumor has it that he is the anonymous author of a popular scandalous pamphlet, The London Spectator. I wonder what this is borrowing from, which details the follies and foibles of the Ton. To be praised in his pages is a triumph, to be mocked a social death sentence. And it goes a little bit into how we'll play, which is basically just we chat at the bottom. We are Augusta Knightly, and sometimes we reach in and we become the storyteller a little bit if things are not working out in a way that makes sense for a story, but mostly we try not to do that. Chapter 1. The air is thick with the scent of beeswax, expensive perfume, and the collective warmth of 200 of England's finest. The Danforths' annual ball is the first truly essential event of the season, and you, Miss Augusta Knightly, have just arrived. Your gown of ivory silk trimmed with a delicate silver embroidery is the very height of fashion and cost a fortune you could easily afford. Your chaperone, the ever-anxious Mrs. Ainsworth, fusses with her fan beside you, her eyes wide as she takes in the glittering crush of diamonds and satin. From the top of the grand staircase, you have a perfect vantage point. You see Lady Vance holding court near a floral arrangement, her lorgnette already aimed at a wilting debutante. Okay, no, I'm actually going to look it up because I feel like that word is going to come up another time. Lorgnette. It is Lorgnette.
Lorgnette.
Lorgnette. Okay, I was right. I was mostly right. She fusses over her lorgnette. Okay. Across the room, Mr. Croft is whispering something into a lady's ear, causing her to hide a laugh behind her fan. And standing near the French doors that lead to the balcony is Mr. Alistair Finch, looking rather severe and unimpressed by the splendor around him. The footman at the bottom of the stairs has just announced in a booming voice, Mrs. Eleanor Ainsworth and Miss Augusta Knightly. A dozen heads turn in your direction. The music swells from the string quartet. This is your moment. This is our moment. The first true step into the society you mean to conquer. Your aunt gives your arm a nervous squeeze. What is the first thing you do? Well, I mean, we walk down, right? I'm wondering if we should go towards any of these people or avoid them. I think there's... we don't necessarily want to come up to Mr. Croft, right? Because he's, a gossip. I feel like we just go down and kind of check out the scene. I don't want to be too forward with anyone in case they hate us. So let's see. I head down the stairs, regally scanning the scene. What do I see? Yeah, I feel like that's the move. Because Finch, especially if he's really serious, he probably wouldn't like someone random that he doesn't know coming up to him. Especially two women, there's no man to introduce us. I feel like that's going to be a little bit of a thing. You descend with practiced poise, your chin held high, your steps deliberate on the white marble. The grand staircase becomes your stage. As you scan the room, the general murmur of conversation seems to dip just for a moment. You are the new curiosity, a fresh face of the season, and you see the appraisal in dozens of eyes. From across the ballroom, you watch as Lady Vance lifts her lorgnette, which I now know how to say. She does not smile. Ooh, shit. Her gaze is slow and methodical, moving from the fashionable arrangement of your hair down to the hem of your expensive gown. She murmurs something to the dowager beside her, whose answering expression is one of faint surprise. Oh, damn. Gossip! Nearer, Mr. Silas Croft catches your eye for a fleeting second. He offers no overt acknowledgement, but a small, knowing smile plays on his lips before he turns back to his companion. It is the look of a collector who has just spotted a rare and interesting specimen. Tricky, because maybe we want to talk. I mean, it's good to know the gossip because then you know the gossip about you, right? You can kind of keep ahead of it, but also if you talk to him and then he doesn't like you, then he's just gonna wreck you. You know what I just realized? They set him up as the person who writes the paper, but if you know it's him, then it's not really why is he writing a paper about it? Why does he have a name? That's funny. Okay. He offers no overt acknowledgement. Oh, no, I already said that. Okay. And then there is Mr. Finch. He had been looking toward the balcony, but the brief lull in conversation draws his attention. His gaze meets yours for a fraction of a second. There is no warmth in it. Really a cool, detached observation before he turns his head, his posture radiating a quiet disapproval of the ostentatious display of the ball itself. He seems utterly unmoved. Rude. Maybe we don't want him, actually. Maybe Mr. Finch is not worth it. Your aunt, Mrs. Ainsworth, whispers beside you, her voice a nervous flutter. Oh, my dear Augusta, so many important people. We must be sure to make a good impression. You have now reached the polished marble floor at the base of the staircase. The sea of society is before you, a glittering expanse of opportunity and peril. What is your immediate objective? Okay, so we're trying to find a man, obviously. We need him to, have a good family name, which means that he probably has an estate. I feel like we've probably come prepped a little bit, right? I feel like we know some of the people at this ball. So I'm going to say that. I've come prepared with some knowledge as to who might have attended tonight. I lean on my aunt. You're quite right, Aunt. Is there anyone here you recognize who, how do you say it nice, who might want to be my husband? Who we might approach? She knows, uh, of course, my aims and what I mean by approach. Yeah, let's see what other people are here. And like, again, because I'm not necessarily looking for someone landed. In fact, I don't know if we would want someone who's going to inherit land, because then they're going to be like busy with their estate, right? And then we're going to be like in charge of a business, or what, they're going to like sell off the business. I feel like that would be tricky. Mrs. Ainsworth's fan flutters like a trapped bird against her chest. She leans in, her voice a conspiratorial whisper, smelling faintly of lavender water. Oh yes, of course, my dear. One must be so careful on one's first outing. A misstep now could be disastrous. Her eyes dart nervously around the room, skipping right over the formidable figure of Lady Vance and the severe Mr. Finch. They land on a kindly-looking woman with silver hair, arranged in an elegant, if slightly old-fashioned style. She is seated on a damask settee, fanning herself gently. There, your aunt breathes, giving a subtle nod. That is Lady Trowbridge, a baron's widow. She holds no great sway, perhaps, but she is universally considered a most amiable and well-connected lady. Her son, Mr. Trowbridge, is recently returned from his grand tour. He is said to be a sensible young man with a good inheritance. But what of his name, right? She gives your arm a hopeful squeeze. An introduction to her would be a very safe and respectable beginning. She is always so very civil. Lady Trowbridge is currently engaged in a conversation with another lady, but the set appears relaxed and open to interruption. This seems a perfectly calibrated starting point. I think we go up to her. It's like, who knows if her son is like a dead end, but she's well connected. So if you wouldn't mind, I would love an introduction. And then how do we approach? Do you think? Are we like bold, you know? Are we like coming in hot, like, I have a lot of money and you're well connected and I want a lot of people to know that I'm available? Or are we like playing it more demure, like waiting for people to come to us, you know? What do you think? I feel like it would be more interesting to be more bold, but I feel like we would scare people off if we're too bold. And the point is to trick someone into marrying us. So maybe the trickery starts early. Trick is a strong word. Convince, perhaps. Let's see. I come forward with a confident gait. I'll say that. But a demure smile. There we go. Best of both worlds. You know. Mr. Trowbridge is back from his grand tour, which means that he has enough money to tour Europe, which is nice, and he's probably educated. But it's really the name. You know what? That I should have asked my aunt. I should have been like, is their name well respected? If that's the point. A visible wave of relief washes over Mrs. Ainsworth, and she gives your arm an approving pat. An excellent choice, my dear. Excellent. She takes a fortifying breath and leads you with surprising deftness through the currents of the ballroom. You pass a cluster of young officers in their scarlet coats navigating around a trio of gossiping matrons, and finally arrive at the damask settee. As you draw near... By the way, I love a settee. Do y'all have settees? I feel like we should bring back settees. It's like a perfect place to nap. It's not as big as a couch. They're quite comfy. You can like sit, but you can also lay down, and I feel like lounge and seem very elegant, you know? As you draw near, Mrs. Ainsworth catches the older woman's eye and offers a small curtsy. Lady Trowbridge, who has been listening to her companion, turns with a gentle smile. Up close, you see she has kind, intelligent eyes, crinkled at the corners with smile lines. Her gown is a tasteful dove-gray satin, and a simple but elegant strand of pearls graces her throat. She exudes an air of calm and unpretentious dignity. Mrs. Ainsworth, how lovely to see you, she says, her voice warm and melodic. I had heard you were to be in town this season. Lady Trowbridge, your aunt replies, dipping into another small curtsy, may I have the honor of presenting my niece, Miss Augusta Knightly. Augusta, this is the Dowager Viscountess Trowbridge. Viscountess? Okay. She said Lady Trowbridge, which could mean a lot of things. Wait, I thought she was a baron's. Wasn't her husband a baron? That's not a viscountess, is it? Maybe they messed up. Let's see. A baron's wife is a viscountess? Viscountess is like kind of up there, you know. It's not like the top one, but it's kind of up there. You execute a flawless curtsy, your demure smile fixed in place. Lady Trowbridge's eyes rest upon you, taking in your fashionable gown and your confident bearing. Miss Knightley, she says, her smile widening slightly, it is a pleasure. This is your first season, I believe. Her gaze is welcoming, but it is an assessment nonetheless. The pause after her question hangs in the air, an invitation for you to speak. I say something like, my lady, the pleasure is all mine. And that it is. We should say something nice about it being our first season and being excited, you know, and we should flatter her too, so she'll like us. I do hope the rest of London proves to be as welcoming as present company. Or the rest of, like, the season? I hope the rest of my London season proves to be as welcoming as present company. That feels right. Some people don't like flattery. Some people get, like, mad when you try to flatter them because they're like, why are you not being real? But I feel like she's kind of just a chill. I feel like she's been introduced as just kind of a chill, nice old lady. So she's probably fine. And if she actually is a viscountess, then she's probably used to, like, normal amounts of flattery. Oh, Mrs. Ainsworth, in her effort to present a safe option, rather understated Lady Trowbridge's status. She is indeed the widow of a viscount, a step above a baron in the intricate hierarchy of the peerage. Okay. So she is a viscountess. So that means, well, yeah. So her son's kind of up there. She seems genuinely pleased by your poise. You are very gracious, Miss Knightley. A little civility goes a long way in this town, a lesson some of our young people are rather too quick to forget. Her gaze flickering for a moment toward a particularly loud group of young men across the room. She then turns her full kind attention back to you. And I am certain you will find London has much to offer. You have just arrived from... Before you can formulate an answer that is both truthful and fashionably vague, her eyes scan the crowd just over your shoulder. A fond smile touches her lips. Ah, speaking of our young people, I believe my son is making his way over. Edward has just returned from his grand tour and finds the London crush a little overwhelming, I think. Following her gaze, you see a young man of perhaps 25 approaching. He is of medium height with tidy brown hair and a pleasant open face. He is not devastatingly handsome, in the way of a romantic poet, nor does he possess the severe classical features of Mr. Finch. Instead, he looks earnest and solid. His gaze is steady as he navigates the crowd, his destination clearly his mother. He is nearly upon you now, a polite smile on his face as he prepares to greet her. That is the sensible young man your aunt recommended. What is your immediate impression of Mr. Trowbridge? I mean, my immediate impression is that he is a viscount, and therefore he fits my goals, you know. Yes. Well, okay, but he's not that hot, right? He's not devastatingly handsome, but that's actually not that important to me. I mean, it would be nice if there was someone who was like very handsome, but I'm like my priority is that he has a good name. Let's see. And because he's a Viscount, that means that he does have a good name. So I have to make a good impression. Okay. My initial impression is, dang, I can chat. Although he is not extremely handsome, he is a Viscount, and so I will check it out. Let's see. Mr. Trowbridge. Trowbridge? A pleasure. Recently returned from your grand tour. Where did you visit? I guess I could be cute. I could say something cuter than that. Like, where did your adventure take you? We're being cute. We have to be cute. We're trying to catch a man. Oh, I don't even know how old we are. If they're 20, if the guys that are showing up are like 25 and 28, I feel like we're probably like, yeah, early 20s, something like that. Mr. Trowbridge reaches his mother's side, a pleasant and dutiful smile on his face. Oh, maybe he's boring. Ooh. Mr. Trowbridge, a pleasure. Recently returned from your grand tour? Where did your adventure take you? For a brief second, surprise registers plainly on his face. His eyes widen slightly. It is a distinct breach of etiquette, oh shit, for a young lady to address a gentleman to whom she has not been formally introduced. Oh. No, I thought he did. Oh no, I guess he just came over and I just immediately spoke to him. Well, okay. Maybe he likes someone who's bold. I guess we're not demurring. His gaze flicks from you to his mother, a silent question in his eyes. Lady Trowbridge, ever poised, smooths over the moment with the ease of a practiced hostess. She gives a small, imperceptible shake of her head to her son, then smiles graciously at you. Edward, dear, you are just in time. Okay, she saved us. She's nice. She's on our side. And she's smoothing it over with her son. Okay, I feel like that's a good sign. That's hilarious. I actually didn't notice that we weren't introduced yet, and a guy just walked over, and I immediately was like, hey, I heard you went on vacation. Okay. Only after this formality does Mr. Trowbridge offer you a proper, if slightly stiff, oh shit, bow. Mr. Knightly, a pleasure. He straightens up, his expression now reset to one of polite neutrality. You are correct. I have been abroad. Oh, he's boring. My travels took me mostly through Italy, Rome, and Florence primarily. It was a great education, though I confess I am glad to be home. His reply is perfectly courteous, but there is a reserve to it, a formality that suggests he is more taken aback by your forwardness than charmed by it. He stands there awaiting your response, his expression one of polite inquiry. Oh, well, maybe I ruined it with Edward. Oops. I thought, okay, I jumped the gun a little bit. I will admit that. I will admit that I jumped the gun a little bit. But maybe we can fix it. Okay, what should we do? How should we get him back? Like, probably through flattery, right? Something like, oh, I'm so thrilled by, like, travel that I accidentally got ahead of myself. I'm sorry, you know? Or, like, I don't know, maybe we have traveled, like, if we're business people, you know, maybe there was like shipping things going on. Although it's looms. So I don't know if we would be like going to the docks or going to other countries if our family makes looms. I think okay, I'm gonna go the flattery angle. unless someone feels differently. I'm gonna do flattery. I'll say something like, "Oh dear, my apologies, Mr. Trowbridge. It seems in my excitement to hear of your travels, I inadvertently," is that how you spell that? Probably. I inadvertently spoke sooner than expected. I don't know. Does that make sense? Spoke sooner than expected. Let's see. I hope, or should I say I want to travel, or is that too forward? Is that like too unladylike? Let's see. Oh, you know what? I'll say I read a lot. That's a very ladylike thing to do. I've read so much of Rome and Florence. What were your impressions? I don't know. We'll see. Maybe it's over with Edward. I'll have to try somewhere else. It's not my fault. This is like we're business people. Like, I don't be going to balls like this. I don't be invited to balls like this. Oh, your apology framed as an intellectual eagerness works a subtle magic. The stiffness in Mr. Trowbridge's posture visibly eases, and a hint of a genuine smile replaces the polite formality on his face. He seems to find your graceful recovery more interesting than your initial error. We've charmed him. Not at all, Miss Knightly. Oh, please think nothing of it, he says, his tone warming considerably. Your enthusiasm is refreshing. Most young ladies I have met this evening have only asked about the quality of the roads or the heat. He pauses, giving your question proper consideration. My impressions? Rome is a city of ghosts, I think. You stand in the forum and feel the weight of centuries of empire and ruin. It is magnificent but deeply melancholic. Florence, by contrast, feels alive with art and commerce, though perhaps a little too proud of its past glories for its own good. Okay, wait. Guys, I'm kind of annoyed with Edward. Like, I feel like he's kind of pretentious. Rome is a city of ghosts. Like, okay. You notice Lady Trowbridge's expression, which is one of quiet maternal approval. She seems pleased by the turn of the conversation has taken, content to listen. Mr. Trowbridge has offered a thoughtful, substantive answer, a far cry from the usual ballroom chatter about the weather or the latest fashions. Okay, but I feel like it was kind of pretentious. Like, I feel like he's a young person who saw some, like, old architecture and was like, I am a philosopher now. But again, he is a Viscount. Or he's going to be well, okay, maybe. He's part of the family of a Viscount. So that means that, like, you know, our baseline is still there. Let's see. I hide the fact that I want to roll my eyes at, let's see, at his token young person who just traveled. Response. Philosophical response. And then how should we respond? We could say, like, truly. I wish I could one day see it for my own eyes. That's probably not a lie. But maybe it's also too forward. You know, I said earlier that I wasn't going to be too forward, and then I did it once, and now maybe I've done it twice. But you know, if it doesn't work out with Edward, like, it'll probably work out with someone else. I feel like we're very charming. You deliver the line with perfect sincerity, your expression a mask of gentle longing. Your performance is flawless. Mr. Trowbridge seems not to detect the slightest hint of your internal critique. That's good. On the contrary, he appears genuinely encouraged by your interest, his smile becoming less guarded and more natural. I hope you shall, Miss Knightly. Truly, engravings and descriptions, however masterful, do no justice to the scale of the Colosseum or the light in a Florentine church. He pauses, a thoughtful look in his eye, as if recalling a specific memory. While the ruins are grand, it was a small thing that impressed me most. A sculpture by Bernini. The way he made the marble look as soft as flesh, it felt less like an antiquity and more like a miracle. Okay, he had me until he said more like a miracle. Like, I was reading that and I was like, oh, wow, no, he actually, like, went there and engaged and, like, has like, a semi-unique take. And then he said the flesh looked like a miracle, and it gave soft boy again. I'm definitely going back and forth on Edward. I don't know how y'all feel about Edward. Let me know. Beside him, Lady Trowbridge gives a small, almost perceptible nod of approval. Her son is speaking with passion and intelligence, and you are the clear cause of it. You have successfully navigated beyond the shallow waters of ballroom small talk into a current of genuine substance. He seems to have shared a moment of genuine feeling. Moving from the philosophical to the personal. Okay. It seems like we're making good progress with Edward. And it's getting a little late, so I feel like we should really hit a home run with a killer charming line here, and then maybe wrap up the scene. What should we tell him? I feel like we kind of flattered him already. We asked about his travels. Maybe I don't know, we're just like, wow, good job for going to Italy. Or I guess maybe we could talk to his mom more, if that's like a good continuing our presence in his life. I don't know, making inroads. I don't know. I feel like my gut is saying to just be like, wow, and then, you know, move on. Move on. Okay. I do not have precedent for more details. I do not press for more details. Let's see. He is engaging until he says that the art was like a miracle. And I am back to hiding my ironic scoff. And then shoot, but I really want to nail it home. We'll say something like you speak as if you were thoroughly moved by the experience. Let's see, and maybe some flattery at the end, like, it's a delight to hear it through your eyes. Okay, maybe he'll catch on this time to the fact that we're not really that into him, or that we're kind of like wishy-washy about him. Hopefully not, though. We want like as many people in our tool belt as possible, so that we have choices, you know? Like, what if someone comes up who's like better than a Viscount? I don't know. Or what if he doesn't like us? What if he ends up not liking us? You know, we have to like We can't put all our eggs in one basket. A slight becoming flush rises on Mr. Trowbridge's cheeks. He seems both genuinely pleased and a trifle embarrassed by the directness of your compliment. Oh, oops. As if he is not quite accustomed to being the subject of such focused admiration. I guess we are a bit bold. You are too kind, Miss Knightly, he says with a small, modest inclination of his head. One can only hope to convey a fraction of the experience. He looks at you then, his gaze direct and genuinely curious. A look of distinct satisfaction has settled on Lady Trowbridge's face. She watches the two of you as one might watch a delightful play unfold. She approves. That's nice. Behind you, you can feel the warmth of your aunt's beaming approval. But I have spoken quite enough of my own travels, Mr. Trowbridge continues. Oh, it seems like he's going to ask another question. Okay, I think we'll end it here. For the night. Thanks for trying it out with me. Bye.